Hey everybody, in this video we are going to go through some creative scratch cooking recipes to hit that high protein, high fiber, and highly affordable diet that you have in this 4-day meal plan. So let's get cooking. We are making a 4-day meal prep with 1 hunk of steak. This is a tri-tip roast. We are going to make 3 different recipes with it, so we're eating something a little bit different each day. So first you're going to take 2/3 of that meat and cut it into like cubes like so, and then with the rest of it you'll just cut into like fajita strips. Now with the cubed meat, we're going to want to go ahead and season it. So I use some curry, some thyme, Dano's all-purpose seasoning. Then I also use some pepper and garlic salt. Then we're going to add in minced garlic, ginger, some diced onions, and then stir that up. I also added a habanero pepper. It just adds good flavor. It's totally optional. If you don't like heat, honestly, just don't break it open. However, if you do like heat, just tear it open. So we're going to let that pot cook and let the natural juices come out on the stove with the lid on medium heat. And then season our fajita meat with whatever seasonings you like. I think taco seasoning would work great. And then just make sure all that's cooked through. And you can see all those natural juices coming out. And then we're going to add in some more water to make some stock. This is going to add great flavor for our beans and just really great scratch cooking here. A lot of great recipes coming out. Just tastes so good. So then next we're going to move on to our salad toppings. So I'm going to make some chickpeas, which have great nutrients in them. We're just going to dry them up, cover them in some olive oil, garlic, salt, paprika, and just pepper. And then just make sure that's all coated and put it in the oven at 400 degrees for about 30 minutes, just till it gets crispy. Then next we're going to cut up the rest of that onion and bell pepper for the fajita salad. So just to minimize dishes, I'm going to move aside the fajita meat and put in the onions and peppers to cook just in those same seasonings. So I'm going to cover it in olive oil and some garlic, salt, and pepper to just let those loosen up to get your desired crispiness. And then we're going to drain out that delicious and nutritious stock, and I'll show you what we're going to do with that soon. And about time, we're going to check our chickpeas just, halfway through, make sure they're your crispiness desires. So next we're going to move on to our beans. So I have some chopped up carrots and onions here. Gonna let those loosen up with some garlic, salt, and pepper again. No need to wash the pot because we're literally just putting the meat back in there. So you're gonna do, I would say, about 2/3 of the meat in there with the beans. I have some cooked red kidney beans. I also threw some tomato in there. This recipe is very much like what you like. So we're gonna let all of those flavors marry each other and just add however many beans. I would say probably 1 can of beans would work fine with this if you're using canned kidney beans. However, I just had some already cooked. And then also throw in some kale. And all of this stuff is already cooked, so we're really just getting the flavors to marry and to cook up that kale. But yeah, all of this, so nutritious, delicious, all made from scratch. Definitely give this a try. Okay, so this next recipe is one of my all-time favorites. It might be for breakfast, but honestly, you can eat it any time of the day. I haven't given it a name yet, so you guys let me know what you would name it, or if it already exists out there and I'm just thinking I'm all creative, but y'all let me know. So we're gonna dice up the rest of the boiled meat and add in some spinach and some onion. Just gonna dice that up. Next, we're going to build the flavors of our eggs. So we're going to put some bouillon in about 4 eggs, mix those together. Then we're going to loosen up the onions with also bouillon and some garlic and just sweat those down. And then we're going to add in that spinach and steak and just cook down the spinach just a little bit, not too much. and then of course add in the eggs and just scramble those up. These taste so good. I don't know how they ever make it to day 4. They never do. So go ahead and we're gonna go ahead next and add them to a pie crust. Now I was adding them like this and realized that that was very slow. So I transferred it over to this method. So basically just fold them over like that, and then that way we can just cut them at the end. So I do have some extra that we ended up snacking on, which turned out to be perfect actually. Then you're going to cover them in egg wash, which is basically 1 egg with some water, and then just brush that over the top. Then I put those in the oven at 450 degrees for about 15 minutes or until it's golden brown. For the base of the fajita salad, I'm using my favorite superfood, which is kale. And then of course you want to add in olive oil to massage into the leaves. That's me totally forgetting and improvising. And then you're going to add in some more kidney beans, maybe just like half a can or however much you like. And the chickpeas, the fajita steaks, onions, bell peppers. I like a bit of fresh onions in my salad, add a bit more nutrients there. So that's me just adding those in. But this is a very versatile salad. So really just add whatever you like, whatever you have in your fridge, whatever you like on your salads. And I am using this cilantro lime dressing. I think it tastes really good. A lot of people make their own, but this one I had in the fridge and it combined very well. My husband just ate 3 of these, so I assume they're good. Are they good?
Yeah.
These are really good. I'll have to make these again. Alrighty, you guys, so we have our breakfast puff pastry, our beans and steak, along with our fajita steak salad, and then I'll add these on top, along with some salad dressing later, and then we have our fruit to go with it. So let's start dishing it out. So we have to cut up our steak and egg pastry. Those are going to be for breakfast. So first, for every other day, I was having beans for one day, then salad the next day, and then I did have some left over, so I made a bonus meal. So it's not just a 4-day recipe, it's a 5-day recipe. And so then one of the days had both the beans and salad, and then the other 2 days had the beans with rice, and then also the fajita salad with just like a side of bread. But you can really do any side of your option. If you do want to freeze any of these, I recommend freezing the beans, not the salad. And then for breakfast, we have the pastries, and then I thought these strawberries would be a nice touch. And then for the snack, we have a delicious banana. So yeah, please give this a try. Let me know what you think. If you like any of these recipes, if you adjust any of these recipes, I'm sure it would taste amazing. But if you're trying to bulk up, hit those high protein, lots of fiber in those beans, super delicious, healthy, and all from one hunk of meat. Guys, that's pretty awesome. If you like this video, please like and subscribe, and I'll see y'all in the next one.